Well, here's the new project. I just got this 75-gallon hot water heater. It's not a hot water heater, it's a water heater. It makes hot water, so you can't call it a hot water heater, right? Okay, it's a water heater. 75-gallon, brand new. Just had a water softener installed today. And so I thought, you know what? I'll turn on the hot water after the softener gets installed, and I'll get all that old hard water out of the water heater. And so I opened all the hot water faucets and let it run until it got cold. Lo and behold, all that new fresh water in the old water heater stirred up all kinds of rust. So I'm hoping that the rust is settled down in the old water heater. This has to go. It's 75-gallon, like I said, and I think it's 26 or 28 inches wide. And it's got to go into the house through this door right here. So we'll have to see how that's going to work. So this is the door we came through, and I had to turn it around in here and head down the steps with a dolly. And that be it. My wife and I made it down here with it. It's quite a bit bigger than the old one. Same manufacturer, but it's all a little bit bigger. What's very cool about this situation is that gas line is lined up perfectly with the new one. This one I installed 7 years ago. The piping system, though, these hot and cold pipes are substantially closer on the old one than the new one, and so I'm going to have to maybe abandon my idea of using copper piping and sweating the joints together and cutting all that. Instead, what I'm thinking of doing is using PEX tubing and shark bite connects, so that I don't have to do so much. And we'll see how all this goes. Well, I got Slim out of there, and this beefy 75 gallons going in. So my debate was, do I just cut those pipes off up there and use PEX tubing and shark bites, or do I use the copper fittings that I have available to me that were just in my stash of plumbing supplies? The other thing that's of interest is this piece here. So this is the adapter to the new water heater, and that pipe that goes on there is much bigger than this standard 3/4 inch pipe right here. So I'm going to have to get an adapter to go on there, and then go to the 3/4 inch. It's for sure got to do that. And then there's these white inserts in each end, and in the middle you can't see through it because there's a little, I don't know what kind of membrane it is. It looks like it's out of cloth and maybe some plastic or something. And you could take a pen and you could push through that, which I'm sure the water does. It bends it. But apparently those inserts are something to conserve heat in the line, in the water heater, I should say. So I called the company that makes this water heater, and I said, you know, which end goes in? They both look different. This one's deeper, that one's not so deep. And he said, unless this is marked with an arrow as to which way it needs to go, you can put it in universally. So my thought is they put this, you know, tape on here, which is really not tape, it's the liquid tape, so that it would go in this way. So there's two spots, you know, one hot water obviously and one cold water, and they just get screwed in. And then I've got to go from this side to my 3/4 inch pipes. We'll see how that turns out. I got to go to Menards or Home Depot or someplace. The other thing I need to get is that flue up there is 4 inches across, and this particular flue on the old one is not 4 inches, it's smaller. It used a smaller pipe, so I've got to get a larger pipe to do that. Well, this is the complete installation of this 75-gallon water heater. It was quite smaller, you know, in the 60-gallon version. This thing is just a monster. Gas line hooked up same place the other one did. I've got these funky insulators on the pipes, but they don't need to be there. It doesn't help much. I did have an issue with the flue that goes up. They don't sell that longer piece there in 2-foot sections at the box store I was at, so I had to buy a cheaper version of that pipe that it is in a 2-foot length. However, it's the advertisement says it's for venting heaters, but I don't think it's code. I think it's a cheaper pipe for sure. So what I used was the 450 degree temperature silicone used for smokers and barbecue pits to seal up any possible crack that was on there. The other problem, there was a problem I had, and that was with this fitting, these fittings right here. This is basically a metal copper fitting on a copper fitting, and the only thing that holds it together is this nut. Well, I had water that was leaking up on this pipe. Actually, it was on both of them, and so a couple pipe wrenches on here and on here, tightening it down. I snugged it up like 5 or 6 times until finally every drop, you know, was trying to get out, didn't get out. So anyway, that is the completion, like I said, of the 75-gallon water heater installation. And am I glad to be done with it? I am glad to be done with it.